Alright, I just came back from the pawn shop. Let's take a look at what I picked up. What is up, everybody? I am Mitch from the Monkabuster YouTube channel, and I decided to check out my local pawn shop because they have this thing where they have $5 Blu-rays, but if you buy four of them, you get the second one, or you get the fifth one free. So it rounds out to about $4 a Blu-ray, which is a pretty decent deal because it's I think there's no tax or whatever, and if you pay cash, and it rounds out to an even 20 bucks for 5 Blu-rays. Count me in. I've been going there every so often, every other week, and they've had the usual suspects basically. Every time I go there, the same thing. But this time I came there and there are these two big boxes of Blu-rays. I couldn't really film in there because there's a lot of people trying to sell their stuff in, and I just didn't want to feel awkward filming other people, even though I really don't care because it's a damn free country. But I obviously respect people's privacy, and I respect people's just feelings about being filmed or whatever, even though I'm not directly filming them. Anyways, so basically they bought a recent haul. There was a lot of Westerns and a lot of World War II movies that I was really tempted to pick up. One of them was The Longest Day, but that's a 20th Century Fox movie, and I'll probably be able to find it on Disney Plus. And even though I really like that movie, it is a long one, and I really don't see myself getting a rewatch or rewatching it anytime soon. It's, I think, 3.5 hours long movie, 3 hour long movie, so that's not really on my priority. So I decided to pick up movies that I either haven't seen yet or I've seen it maybe a year, 2 years ago, to where I want to kind of give it a rewatch with the Blu-ray format instead of a really overly pixelated streaming service. So I got here 5 Blu-rays, $4 Blu-rays, 5 Blu-rays for 20 bucks. We got here a little stack. Starting off with is a World War II movie that I haven't seen yet, but it does come with 2 movies, in fact, and that is The Dirty Dozen. I've never heard of this, but it stars Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine. I really liked him in the Poseidon, Ice Poseidon, the Great Poseidon, that Gene Hackman movie, if you know what that means. I forgot what the name is called, but I really like that movie. Charles Bronson, Jim Brown, John Cassavetes, Richard Jekyll, George Kennedy, Trini Lopez. A huge cast, fantastic cast. I've never seen this movie before, and also in the special features it comes with the sequel, the 1985 sequel with Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Richard Jekyll, reprising their original roles. I looked at the letterbox for the first movie, 1967, really good reviews, and then the sequel that came out almost 20 years later, not so good reviews. But 2 movies for $4, $2 per movie. I can't really pass that up, and it has a pretty stacked cast. So for $4, that's pretty good. The Dirty Dozen. I've really been opening my mind to other kind of war movies that you don't really hear a lot of people talking about. Obviously, you got the Hacksaw Ridges, you got your Saving Private Ryans, but not really many people talk about kind of those, not niche movies, because obviously they're big, pretty decently sized budget movies with pretty modern, or not modern, but huge casts. But kind of those movies that get pushed aside because, oh, they're dad movies, you know, the movies that your dad likes to watch on AMC. So I want to get, because a lot of those movies are actually really good, and they have a merit to be so popular within the, you know, Gen X and Boomer generation. So The Dirty Dozen on Blu-ray for $4, and it comes with a sequel. That's a pretty good deal right there. And then the next pickup I got was a movie I have seen. I saw it on Netflix, and this is the movie that got Daniel Craig his role as James Bond. Even though he doesn't really play that much of a badass in here, he actually kind of plays a wuss in here, kind of. And that is Layer Cake. If you haven't seen this movie, it is a Matthew Vaughn film. Matthew Vaughn also made, I believe, the Kingsman films. Matthew Vaughn? Am I correct? Hey Siri. Who is the director for the Kingsman? Matthew Vaughn, yeah. So I was right. So he directed the Kingsman, and this is a pretty good movie. A British kind of movie. I kind of forgot the movie. It is pretty, it's a bit forgettable, but I guess I have to rewatch it again because I remember really enjoying it. So I know they left a decent positive impression, but I can't really think back to the plot. Planning to retire and begin a new life, Mr. X, played by Daniel Craig, a successful West End drug dealer, has been asked for one last favor to negotiate the sale for 1 million hits of ecstasy. and obviously, clearly, it does not go as planned. So it has a pretty good cast too. Daniel Craig, Colm Meaney, Kenneth Cranham, George Harris, Jamie Foreman, Sienna Miller, and Michael Gambon, from the producers of Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Two really good films. So yeah, I'm glad to add this to the collection for $4. Got me some Layer Cake. Pretty good movie. Doesn't really get talked about enough, but pretty good. It's not an action film, but it is pretty well performed and written. Next is Leon the Professional. Now I know this has a 4K, but for $4, I haven't actually seen this movie yet, so I am, for $4, I'll give it a chance. It's a decently newer-ish. It's not really new. It came out in 2009, but it's not like a 2007 Blu-ray to where I'm like, oof. But Leon the Professional, I have yet to see this. I've seen a few clips of it on the internet, but obviously, as you do with many other films that have been around for over 20 years. I heard really good things about it, and I love me some Jean Reno, Gary Oldman, and Natalie Portman. What's cool about this is it comes with the theatrical and the extended cuts, so I am intrigued to see what that would entail. Comes with 10-year retrospective cast and crew look back featurette. Jean Reno, the Road to Leon. So there's a decent amount of special features, and yeah, I've just heard a lot of really good things about it. I decided to pick it up for $4. Yes, please. And then this recently got a 4K, and I've heard so many good things about this movie. I heard a lot of people call it their most favorite movie of all time. Written and directed by Charlie Kaufman, best known for being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and adaptation. And that is Synecdo, New York. I keep hearing about this movie because I listen to the Sardonicast podcast, and every time they mention great movies, Adam from YMS always talks about how much he loves this movie, so I decided to give this a chance. It has a pretty good cast here. Emily Watson, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Michelle Williams, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Hope Davis, Catherine Keener, so I will give this an open mind. I love me some Philip Seymour Hoffman. I heard it's a depressing movie, so I am really excited to get into this. A 2009 Blu-ray comes with a bunch of special features. All of these, for some reason, have these annoying clipper cases, so that is not my favorite, but it looks pretty cool, and I'm excited to finally give this a chance because I know a lot of people really love this movie, so I want to love this movie too. And then this was the pickup of the day. This made going to the flea market, to going to the pawn shop, the most worth it, because every time I find it, it's either brand new and it's really expensive, or it's like I can never find it anywhere because it always goes off the shelves. And that is the director's cut for Zodiac. David Fincher's Zodiac, brand new. It's like $20 here in Canada, $15-20. And I can never find it used. I always go to my Sunrise Records. I always go to the flea market to find it, but they never have it. It's always sold out. But I was able to finally pick up is this a UK, maybe a Finland copy, because it's in a different language I'm not too sure about. But thankfully the artwork on the front is not translated. It's still in English, which is very cool. And it still has that kind of envelope styling to it. What language is that? Gubruk mit Aline Vur. I don't know if this is German. Verhal van de Brust. Seri menur dar. Ende intens. Besenjacht. Die Gij Steven Bracht. I don't know what the fuck this is. But if you guys know what this language is, let me know down below. But, I've seen a few Fincher stuff. I recently just watched Mindhunter. I watched both the seasons, and I heard a lot of people say that if you like Mindhunter, or if you like Zodiac, you'll like Mindhunter. And I've never seen Zodiac, and I really liked Mindhunter, so I'm excited to get in to watch this. And it's a stacked cast. I think Mark Ruffalo's in it. I was Mark Ruffalo, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Robert Downey Jr. is in this. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, there's no murder scenes, there's no killing, it's more about the cops. I'm like, yeah, that's the most intriguing part, because I feel like when you take real source material about real people, like real serial killers, it kind of trivializes the fact that, hey, these are real people that were murdered very brutally by an insane asshole who decided to kill someone's loved one. And when it's portrayed in this kind of slasher horror kind of movie, it feels very disrespectful and very distasteful. So I kind of like the fact that it's more of just like the behind the scenes of them trying to catch the Zodiac killer. Obviously, spoiler, I guess it's not really a spoiler, but they never find him, obviously. But it has a really good cast, and I've never seen this movie, and I've been slowly creeping up on David Fincher's stuff. I watched Seven, and I watched The Game, and obviously I watched Mindhunter. And I also watched Love, Death, and Robots. I don't know if you'd count that. I guess he technically did write and direct it, right? But when it comes to his filmography, I still have to watch Fight Club. That's one I've missed out. Obviously, Zodiac. I also watched his remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That was a fantastic remake. One of my favorite remakes of all time. Up there with The Thing when it comes to, whatever. But, yeah, so I need to catch up on that. Also, Alien 3 I haven't seen yet, so it'll be quite the watch trying to go through Alien 3 all the way to Mank, because Mank is his latest movie, which I really don't want to see Mank until I've seen Citizen Kane. And I know a lot of people love Citizen Kane, but I'm just not a big fan of like those 1940s American films. I kind of like foreign films of that time, but not really classic Hollywood. But anyways, yeah, so I would say I made out pretty well. For 20 bucks to get a few of these that probably go for a lot more on the used market or on the new market. I also tried this out because I was a bit scared because it doesn't really say if it's Region A, Region B, Region 1, Region 2. But I popped it into my PS5 and it works fine. So obviously I'm guessing it'd be the same when I go downstairs, pop it into my Sony 4K player. But yeah, so those are the pickups. The Zodiac Director's Cut, Synecdo, New York, Leon the Professional, Layer Cake, and The Dirty Dozen. It also comes with a sequel, so technically, if you want to be technical, I got 6 movies for $20, which is a pretty good deal if I do say so myself. So yeah, you don't always have to buy things brand new. Look around, look for your local flea markets, pawn shops. I know pawn shops recently have really been nulling down their physical media section, mainly because obviously we have a very bustling community online, but I feel like not in the real world, but like I feel like a lot of people when they go to pawn shops, they try to sell off like electronics, TVs, cameras, guitars, projectors, laptops, those kind of things, and it's kind of a rare occurrence to find like people selling their Blu-rays to pawn shops. Usually they'll go to like a thing like The Beat Goes On or something like that, or like a flea market vendor to where they'll get that kind of deal. But you can find Blu-ray deals anywhere. It's not just going to your thrift stores, because I notice a lot of thrift stores nowadays, they charge $5.99 for a Blu-ray, sometimes $7 for a Blu-ray, and it's insane. So support local, support your pawn shop, because sometimes they'll have some good deals that pay off. I'm a regular at that pawn shop. I go maybe every week, every other week, and those are the pickups of the day. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I've been Mason from the Mockbuster YouTube channel. Please have yourself a good day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. Please stay safe and God bless. Peace, cheers, long live physical media. See you guys.